Good afternoon, my friends and clients. Today's topic is helping those folks who have gone through the very unfortunate event of losing their jobs as a result of the coronavirus. We want to be as helpful as we can to help you through this period of time of adjustment and to get back on your feet as quick as possible and just provide some excellent resources that can be of help to you today. Well, the CARES Act was just recently passed and it provided some very good relief. Good news on the unemployment amount that you would be able to claim. Also an expansion of the amount of people that this unemployment now covers. So let me walk you through that. It includes freelancers, independent contractors, and the self-employed. The self-employed individuals can also seek assistance through Paycheck Protection Loan Program because you are a business. So who qualifies for unemployment as a result of the coronavirus? You must not have lost your job through no fault of your own. Were ordered to quarantine by a medical professional or a government agency. Laid off or sent home without pay for an extended time due to COVID-19. Caring for an immediate family member who is diagnosed with coronavirus. How to file your claim. Here's a great resource. This is where you do it. It's www.connect.myflorida.com. And for further assistance, you can call the 1-800 number that can help you with as well. And that number is 1-800-204-2418. Again, 1-800-204-2418. Items that they would need you to have handy to communicate with them on the phone is your Social Security number, your driver's license or state ID number, past 18 months of employment. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you'll also need work authorization. After filing a claim, it will be reviewed to determine if you are eligible. Every 2 weeks, you will need to return to the Connect website to request your benefit payment. The payment amounts would range anything from $32 to $275 per week based upon your prior income for a period of 12 weeks. Florida Governor DeSantis is taking steps to extend the benefits due to coronavirus, so for a longer period of time than 12 weeks. If the unemployment rate increases, the number of weeks will also increase. And then the CARES Act, who passed the $250 billion amount, extended the unemployment insurance program, expands the eligibility, and offers workers an additional $600 per week for 4 months on top of what state programs pay. And it extends unemployment insurance through December 31st for eligible workers. So it looks to me like the high end would be $875 per week, or around $632 a week on the low end is available. This is good money available to be able to help during this period of time. Obviously, at this point in time, you are at home and you are creating what we call the skinny budget. Most of us that are still employed, this would be responsible for us to do as well. And so as we look at the most critical expenses, right, that we need to have to be able to stay afloat. And we're looking to see how we can cut back. So if you have emergency savings, so most of our clients, we've been encouraging you to have emergency liquid cash to be able to help you through a period of time like this. So now's the time, obviously, you tap into these. But here's some other tips for you, some other thoughts. Contact your mortgage company. You can qualify for nearly a year of forbearance if you have a federally backed mortgage, FHA mortgages. You can do that. Ask if your lender will defer payments, waive the interest, lower the fees while you're unemployed. Contact your bank as well as other lenders. Some lenders are allowing borrowers to suspend payments or get a reprieve or on credit card payments. Discuss options of a small installment loan with low interest rates. Obviously, what we're trying to do here is to see how can you preserve cash, right? And how can you minimize your cash outflow? So another idea is to call your utility provider. Speak to a hardship officer about your financial situation. Ask about a plan to pay in smaller increments. The Federal Communication Commission has a full list of providers that won't shut off your services if you miss a bill. Call your life insurance company. If you have term life insurance, see if they would be willing to work with you for a grace period in order to make sure that those insurance premiums, the fact you're not paying them on time, will not put the policy in lapse. If you have a permanent life insurance policy, then you have the opportunity to hopefully have cash value that can carry you during this period of time. The only exception to that would be a whole life policy that requires payment on a month-by-month basis. Look at job postings, right? Companies who are hiring at the moment during this crisis are grocery stores. There's a big billboard just outside my house of Publix hiring people right now. Warehouses, Dollar General, Walmart, CVS, Amazon. These are all companies that are hiring folks right now. Look for those opportunities. Be open to new opportunities. I understand that you've been trained and have experience to be able to do a specific job. But now it's also a good time to be flexible to see if even you can expand horizons as well as expand opportunities and apply for these positions. This is also a good time to broaden your skill level. If you have obviously time on hand, a great time to ask the question, what are you really interested in that you're not doing in your current job situation, and expand opportunities to get back in college if you would, or just through professional training. I just recently finished one of these trainings, and great on your mind and mindset to be able to expand your knowledge. Network, obviously a very difficult thing right now to do. We cannot network too well with social distancing, but certainly there's great websites that allows that. LinkedIn, you can contact family and friends and colleagues, reach out, explain what's going on in your situation. Most people are hired today by referral. I see that very, very often. We normally hire folks that comes through referral sources to us. Stay in contact with your previous employer. For most businesses, this is a temporary issue. We were reading today articles of how folks in China were going back to work. Good news, the production in China is actually higher than what's anticipated. So we're seeing some good news. They are about 2 months ahead of us. So the CARES Act provides for the Paycheck Protection Program. This is all designed to try to help small business owners to be able to keep as much of their team in play. But this is a temporary issue. So stay in contact to see when they get back to normal production and there's an opportunity to be hired back. Request deferment of forbearance of student loans. Those folks who have student loans, you can request forbearance to those loans. The Department of Education automatically suspended repayments of federal student loans until October 2020. So there's some additional help there. Another item on your outflow that if you still have student loans that you can take a break on. And then contact your private lender for options that are available on your student loans if you don't have them with the federal government. Then accessing cash. Different places, I've mentioned it before. First spot would be your emergency reserve fund. Typically it's in your checking account, or it's in your money market account or savings accounts. But if those monies are running out, what other sources can you tap? And this is where I would suggest that you maybe give us a call. If you're one of our clients or one of the friends that this is being passed on to, feel free to call us. We'll walk you through the sequence of what would make the best sense. But here's some rule changes that pass through that allows access to some accounts that didn't have access to before. So if you remember that you were able to pull money out of an IRA, you normally have to pay 10% penalties. But these rules have been suspended for this period of time. So now you can access up to $100,000 inside of your qualified retirement plan and not be subject to the 10% penalty. Normally when you had to access monies out of here, you had to be subject to an income tax. And the good news is that this income tax doesn't have to be paid this year either. It can be deferred for up to 3 years. When you, in the past, there was always this rule that said that you can move money from one IRA to another, and you can hold on to the proceeds for 60 days, put it back in the IRA, not be subject to 10% penalty or income taxes. That period of time has now been extended for up to 3 years. So if I have an IRA and I need to go in there, pull money out, I can pull out up to $100,000, pay no income tax, and pay no penalty. I can put the money back when I get back on my feet, and I would not eventually have to pay any income taxes. This is, I think, a fantastic rule that came through. If you have a loss of health insurance, so you work for an employer who had less than 20 full-time employees, if you are one of those folks, you don't have access to HIPAA. Excuse me, not HIPAA, COBRA. Anybody that has employers bigger than that typically have a COBRA program. Here's a resource for you. Visit www.healthcare.gov florida.gov to check out the Florida Health Insurance Exchange to be able to see what's available for you and your family. For folks with 20, employers with 20 or more employees, they continue their insurance coverage, but you're responsible for your employer's portion that they used to pay, also with about a 2% increase as well. That's the maximum that's allowed on COBRA. You can also, obviously if your spouse is working, go and take a look and see what's the additional expense to be covered through your spouse's insurance if you were the main provider of health insurance. If you're eligible for Medicaid, you can also apply at any time. You can log on to www.ahca.myflorida.com. COVID-19 testing is also covered under Medicaid. And then seek also information on community care or hospital charity programs. Another very good resource for you. How do I save money while I'm shopping around? Where's the deals and how can I preserve my cash? So shop around for medical services, ask about payment options, use telemedical services for phone or online visits. They typically start at about $20 and no medical insurance is required. Buy medications in bulk. Really good app available right now is GoodRx. They have coupons for medications you could use to be able to save money on medications. And then set up a savings account for medical expenses as you are thinking through. If you have normal weekly or monthly medical expenses, start budgeting for that. Then I just read an article that said that the money that is finally passed through the CARES Act should be arriving around about April 17, 18th, and 19th. About $1,200 for individuals, $2,400 for married couples, plus an additional $500 per child. So nice check, $3,400 if it's husband and wife with 2 children. These payments again will only be made to individuals who earned up to $75,000, or if you are married as a couple filing jointly below $150,000. Self-care. We are called the Life Wealth Group for a reason, and self-care is extremely important. I've gone myself through difficult times in the past, and I've always discounted self-care. But believe me, it's as important as financial care and as any other area. So here's a few tips that I just want to share with you about self-care during a period of time like this. So keep in contact with family and friends as best as you can. Stay social, even if we are distant, but connect with your family and friends again. Talk about what you're experiencing. Just verbalize it. Just something that is happening to everybody. You are not alone, unfortunately. Focus on what you have versus what you have lost. Be thankful, gratitude, the basic things in life again. The sunshine, feeling the wind over your skin. Find ways to release your stress, right? Exercise a lot. Meditate, read, get outside. Here at our office, we've been practicing the 1 hour per day vacation concept. We are on vacation 1 hour a day, and we can relax. Pray and anchor yourself in your faith. Faith is a wonderful, wonderful anchor for life. And find ways to give back during this time. Be kind to yourself. You're not alone. This is a difficult time. We'll get through it together, and we are here to help. So, as you're looking for different types of accounts and thinking through and just want somebody to talk to and saying, Hilgard, how do I do all these different ideas and tips and help me create a spending plan, and what accounts do I pull money from first, second, and third? Very, very important. We are very available for you to have this discussion, to be of help to you, whether you're a client or not. We are very, very available to help you with that. I will tell you, it's a very important thinking process and decisions. It has a lot to do with making sure you don't deplete your wealth, and what is the time to be able to lock in losses or not, and would this account be subject to an income tax or not. So very, very important, and here to help you think through that. You are very, very welcome to reach out to us. Our schedule is on our website at www.lifewealthgroup.com. Simply go on the website. There's a link there that will allow a time for us to have a discussion. You'll be asked 1 or 2 questions just to be able to help us gather a little information to be ready for our time together. Thank you so much for listening today, and I know that you're going to get through this. Have a great rest of the day.